All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time, and it looks like Nightingale's here. First time chatter, and it looks like I've got very weird things going on. So what I think I want to do is that. Okay, I can see that my screen is still a little bit off. Gall dang it. Okay. We're gonna pretend. All right. Let's start over, shall we? Hey, it's 5 p.m. West Coast time. 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I'm Ed Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and this is how today's gonna be, I guess. All right, so I came to my screen earlier today, way later today than I should have. Found out that my camera wasn't working. I had to reset up some things. Things are not as I want them to be. So, but all right. I'm in a kerfuffle. You see, last night I did something very stupid. I stayed up until 7 a.m. I was playing a video game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. I lost control. I've come over to the dark side, as Shock said, and I've lost flippin' control, y'all. So, okay, we're gonna have to go back to the beginning here, and we're gonna have to see who all's in the chat room, because it looks like we had quite a crowd waiting on me to show up for a show that I was putting together at the very last minute. So Shock coming in the house, letting us know when the house should be open. And we have got, let's see here, we've got Verity coming in on the YouTube side saying hello. Darlene coming in as well with Rick. And Pussycat saying aloha to the gang. And it looks like we've got Terry in Scotland raiding with a party of 8. But it also looks like Baby Bo said Terry is not with us. I think Terry might still be playing his game. It sounded like he was in the heat of battle when I left. But it does sound like he was nice enough to raid over. Not quite sure what his method was there. Maybe he didn't want to see people. He didn't want people watching him die, which Lord knows that's what happened to me a lot last night. But yeah, all right. And then we've got Mama Sean coming in. DJ Smook definitely came in on the raid. Nightingale, honestly, I saw you earlier. I might have said hi, but I might not have. So welcome in, Nightingale. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. You are now part of the Statterbox crew. And let's see here, Verity, I'm pretty sure I already said hi to her because I think she was one of the first people in. Not only were you on time, Verity, you were actually earlier than me. And Baby Bo definitely in the house because I know that Baby Bo is here because he said Terry's not in the raid, Molly. But Katie Zora came in on the raid, which is awesome. Gina Gamba also came in. Well, I don't know if she came in on the raid or if she came in on her own. Sometimes she does a little bit of both. And DJ Smook, did I already say hi to DJ Smook yet? I've been seeing him. Everybody's saying hi to him, but I might not have been the one to say hi to him. So, hey, DJ Smook, good to see ya. I think he came in on the raid, too. And let's see here. Rick Darlene, Pussycat, Jessica Falls came in on the raid. Good to see you, too, Jessica. One day, you might see me on the high seas. And let's see here. You got that one day. Says Shock, you helped me stay focused on the way to the airport that morning. Yes, I do remember that, actually. I very much do remember that. And, Baby Bo. Molly, where's the bot? Baby Bo has been trying to get me to install SiriBot, and I keep forgetting to do it. So, Baby Bo, it's, in the, it's in the universe. It's on the website to be downloaded. That's where it's at. Because here's the deal. Once I got onto Sea of Thieves, y'all, I turned into a gamer. I've never been a gamer before. Gamers were stupid. Gaming is stupid. What a waste of time gaming is. Oh yeah, those words have come back to bite me in the okole. All right, and yes, Darlene, double shot. Espresso with a little bit of half and half, no sugar, no nothing, just double shot espresso with half and half on ice. And cool, Baby Bo, you're gonna try and stay up and see Terry and me playing. Awesome. Yeah, I hope to do that. I have other things I should be doing, y'all. I really do, but I hope to do that too. I hope to get online and play with Terry later on too. And hey, Kenny from the Cove. Ah, the house smells like breakfast, eggs and bacon. And toast for the supper time win. Oh, Kenny, invite me over. Good to see you here, by the way, but that sounds delicious. And Gina, you started a new game in Hogwarts Legacy yesterday. You have worked up in the story to a quest I'm dreading because of the presence of spiders. I know enough about the stories to have a vague idea of exactly what quest you are going on, and yeah, I wouldn't like that one either. And Andre in the house, you've been gaming since Pong. That was hard because I was a kid and they only, at first, had them in bars. Oh, yeah, I bet. Poppy Shaney coming in. I am the master of Atari Pong. Nice, nice. That is it. And you hope your PC doesn't crash as you hack some OS images. Whee! I don't know what you mean by hacking OS images, but if you mean stealing images off the internet, I do it all the time. In fact, we're going to see one today. And, oh no, Pussycat, your refrigerator is broken and the washing machine is on its way out too? But that sucks, dude. And you used to play Pong with your little brother. You remember those broken Atari controllers? Yeah, those Atari controllers. You know, my Atari controller that I got from my little joystick was so tight, and it just felt like it didn't do anything, whereas other people's controllers were way looser. I always felt like I was on the verge of breaking mine because I would be, like, pressing it so hard, but it wouldn't move that much, you know, even though on the screen it would move. It was just a very unsatisfying game controller that I had when I was a kid, I think. And Pussycat, waiting for the Labor Day sale. Well, fingers crossed you can live that long. Without a refrigerator, you're going to wait till Labor Day sale? Oh, no. OS, that's operating systems, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. I remember now what an OS actually is. And Pussycat, you still have the first original Atari computer. That is insane, dude. We didn't have an Atari computer, we had a Texas Instruments. And so, the first computer we had, anything that you did that you wanted to save the data was to be saved on cassette tapes. And Pussycat, I have no doubt that it still works. Because it was made in like the 70s or the 60s or the 70s or the late 70s. And so if chances are if you had a refrigerator from the late 70s, it would still work. And I have no doubt that that computer still works. Of course, the computer probably can't even run your cell phone. But, the gaming console. Those actually might be worth something. I know that there's a lot of retro gamers who, things that we threw away are now in hot demand, mostly because we threw them away. Let's see here. Let's get my messy mess semi-covered. All right, so now that I've babbled about babbling and not being ready, why don't we get that party started, shall we? All right, let's do it. Oh, awesome, Pussycat. One joystick is loose and the other is fine. I'm guessing the loose one is the one that got used, the most. And let's see here. Kenny, is ColecoVision the one with the boop boop, the instead of a joystick, it had a boop boop, a dial? Is that what I remember? One of them had a dial, and I feel like that was Coleco. And might a retro gamer be interested in a used PS3? Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I do have a friend. I do have a friend he's a content creator for YouTube, and he specifically focuses on retro gaming. So I can absolutely ask him about that because he definitely would know. And let's see here. I remember. My friend had a TRS 180 from Radio Shack. I remember when Radio Shack was where you got the good computers. Right. That's so funny. And now Radio Shack just doesn't even. Yeah. Intellivision had a dial. Was that what Coleco was? ColecoVision? Intellivision? I don't know. I don't remember. That's okay. And Bainy Bo, I see you think that I should have an alcoholic beverage. I would love to have an alcoholic beverage, except for quite literally, I woke up 2 hours ago. So it's a little bit early in the morning for an alcoholic beverage. But if I were in the market for an alcoholic beverage, this is the beverage I would choose. And I'll tell you what right now, my friends, I don't know where this 1,844 pack is located. And I certainly don't know how I would get it home. But what I do know is when you run the numbers, this is half price beer right here. And I absolutely would love to spend $850 for 153 12 packs of Pabst Blue Ribbon. And that is exactly what that is. It comes out to less than 50 cents a can, man. And Poppy, you didn't know that Pops was still around? Absolutely. Pabst Blue Ribbon is a sort of a universally accepted beer from high class people to the hipsters to the cheap poor people, and yeah, you can. It seems like PBR. If you order a PBR, you're gonna. Most people at bars are just like, yeah, that's a pretty nice little beer there, Whereas if you order, well, a lot of bars still, like, for real, if you order a Bud Light, they're just going to tell you, we don't serve Bud Light no more. Bye now. But PBR just, it's union made. It's an American beer. And I've never had it on tap, Puzzy. But if I ever went to a bar that did have it on tap, boy howdy, they would be my new favorite bar, I bet. And let's see here. Rick, you'd never finish it before they go bad. I don't. Well, now, Rick. Well, now, Rick. I actually disagree. Because I think that I could probably polish that off in a year. And it might take me the whole year. It might not take me the whole year. But I think I could polish that off in a year. And, well, actually, let's do some math, shall we? So there's 1,844 cans divided by 365 days a year. Dude, that's only 5 cans a day. I could totally, between me and my friends, we could definitely do that we could do that. I promise you, we could do that. It wouldn't go bad. I think beer could last a year, right? Yeah, I feel like, first off, if you have an 1,844 pack, I feel as though you're required to throw a party at that point. And once you've got, a truckload literally full of beer for people to grab, I think we could make a dent in it. Puzzycat, honestly, to tell you the truth, when I do the numbers, 5 beers a day, yeah, it actually probably would be more like 6 months. I totally agree. Like, I really, it does go stale? Oh, okay. And Shock, you won't buy it because it's a non-binary progression number. Well, I won't buy it because I don't have $850 to spend on beer. But if I did have $850 to spend on beer, I can tell you right now, it's 46 cents a can. When I buy a 12-pack, it ends up being $12.11, which means that's roughly $1.01 a can. And so, $1.01 a can versus 46 cents a can is obviously way more expensive, more than twice as much. So if you had the money, it's definitely a good investment. And I just feel like if I kept it in the fridge for a year, unopened, it could work. Puzzycat, get 4 and 5 people and split the price. Yeah, exactly. So now I just need a Dale and a Boomhauer and a Hank and a Bill. I guess I'm Bill, since I said I needed a Dale and a Boomhauer and a Hank. I must be Bill. That's a King of the Hill reference for those of you who don't know. And Katie, you sank a galleon. That is so awesome. Last night, Terry in Scotland and I, when we played Sea of Thieves, we burned down our own ship. On purpose, actually. We threw firebombs onto it and watched it go up in flames. There was a method to our madness. There was a reason. It wasn't part of the greater plan, but There was a reason. It eventually became part of the greater plan. It wasn't part of the original plan. Yeah, 465, or 450 bucks each, exactly. And Verity, it's a commitment, that's a lot of beer. Well, you know, here's the deal. I really feel like when it comes to PBR, I'm already in a committed relationship. Like, I've already, you know, invited him into my home. So, hey. Might as well have a party to show the commitment, right? And shock, if they sold it in 256, 512, 1024, or 2048 units, a certain class of nerd would buy it. But, hold on. No, they can't do that, because it has to be, you're so funny. You're so funny. It needs to be in, increments of 12, or maybe 18. Hold on. 1024 divided by 18. Yeah, no, you don't, see, you clearly don't buy beer. Beers come in increments of 6, 12, 18, and 24. So, none of those numbers are divisible by that. You can't do that. And yeah, it would take one person to drink 5 cans a day to drink it all in a year. If your math is correct, you are winging it. No, your math is totally correct, Poppy. I did the math too. And I really do think that that's doable. And, so let's see here. Hold on. Kenny from the Cove, you did a lot of research in your time, and I don't get the attraction of Pabst, and I won't call it PBR because down here, PBR stands for Pro Bull Riding. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And Andre, you said this earlier, and I didn't read it, but I did glance through it, and I wanted to know more about it. With that in mind, is there a brew better to sell the world's largest case of beer than PBR? Nope. The answer is a resounding nope. PBR debuted in 1844, or debuted the 1844 pack over the summer to celebrate their founding year. The pack contains, you guessed it, 1,844 beers, and measures in at a whopping 4 feet tall and 3 by 5 feet wide. The 1844 pack sells for just $84.99, or 46 cents per beer. Exactly, y'all. I did the math. I mean, but they did too. And so, let's see here. Andre continues, PBR released the 1844 pack back in July, and while there was only 250 cases released, there might still be 1 or 2 lurking at a liquor store near you. Consider this our unofficial petition for PBR to bring the 1844 back to the stores across the country. Wouldn't mind rolling up to our next holiday party with 1844 PBRs to share with hundreds of our best friends. Exactly, dude. And Baineybo, your cousin would probs buy that. He can go through a whole case in one sitting. Exactly, dude. And so it really, like, some people can drink a lot more beer than you think. And when it's water beer like that, you don't fill up as much, and you don't get as drunk as, like, you know, I mean, okay, if you're drinking 24 beers in one sitting, you're getting drunk no matter what. But it's not the same as, like, drinking whiskey or drinking, like, a really stouty, high alcohol volume beer, I guess is what I'm saying. And, Kenny, actually beer comes in singles. Okay, singles, that is true. 6, 12, 24, and keg. Pabst being the exception. No, there's plenty of places that have 18 packs too. Pabst isn't the only one that has an 18 pack. Lots of beer brands have 18 packs. And that's okay. Nerds drink Mountain Dew, even those aren't counted in multiples of 2. Got it. Okay. How many days can a nerd stay awake with Mountain Dew? Oh, God, yeah, no. And contact Pabst and put it on tap at home. It's 3-2, right? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out. This is from last night. It's just on my desk. I don't know. Let's find out. No, you guys. Wow, this is way more heavy duty than I thought. It's 4.7. I didn't realize that it was almost 5%. It's 4.7. And Rick, no, you might get it, but we don't. Let's see here. Rick, do you get it? It doesn't say. But we don't get the recycling. We don't get recycling refunds in Washington. We just have to recycle. And you'll get in trouble if you don't. But no, it is not 3.2. It is 4.7. Learn something new every day. How about that? And you think in 11 days people start dying, for when they're staying up too late or too long? Yeah, sleep deprivation is not a good thing. But you know what though? I can totally see how nerds do it. Like, I didn't understand how people can play a video game for 24 hours and just be like, nah, it's, and then granted, I couldn't do that. I'd have to work up to that level of stamina. But when I looked up from the video game this morning and saw that it was this morning instead of last night, I kind of got confused as to how all that time passed. And I can honestly say I don't really have a lot to show for it, except for a fancy new belt that my character has on their wardrobe now. And I also got a new hairstyle on my character. You guys, who am I? Who am I? Yeah, I guess I was having fun. I was trying to learn how to fish. Honestly, you guys, I was trying to learn how to fish, and I still haven't figured it out. I almost caught one though. And Baney Bo, Terry was up till 6 or 7 a.m. our time. Yeah, I think he was up. Yeah, I think he was up. Exactly. Yeah, I was playing. Terry and I were online together until then, and then we had to take a break because we hadn't eaten anything. And then I came back maybe an hour and a half later, and then carried on by myself. And yes, I am totally a baby gamer, Andre. And I'm getting good at a lot of stuff in that video game, but you know the one thing I still can't do? I can't go down the stairs. Going down the stairs on the ship, I can't go down the stairs. I always hit my head. I miss it. I don't know how to go downstairs. It takes me 3 tries to get downstairs. I can chop a skeleton in pieces in 3 blows, but I don't know how I got down the stairs. I can swim to shore carrying a sailor's chest somehow and climb up onto the ship, but I can't get down the stairs. I don't know how I got down the stairs. I don't know. And, Kenny, for you personally, you prefer a nice dark beer that will have you faking a foreign accent in about 6 beers in. You always go for Guinness or Shinerbuck. Right, exactly. And that is exactly the type of beer that I don't like. Which explains why, Kenny, you don't like PBR. Because the type of beers that you gravitate to are absolutely the opposite of the type of beer that I gravitate to. I like water beer. And, Poppy Shaney, that makes sense. If I drink too many Coors, you have a cowboy accent. And Verity, you hear Kenny, back in the day it was Newcastle Nut Brown Ale. Oh my god, dude. One of my friends was in love with Newcastle Nut Brown Ale. And she was like, oh, it's so smooth, it's so creamy. And she forced me to try it. I didn't want it. And everything about it, I was like, what? The words smooth and creamy do not... you might as well say that a marshmallow is prickly and bitter for how much smooth and creamy goes with what you just put in my mouth. Yeah. And Shock, who remembers Old Peculiar? Or Speckled Hen? Are those beerses or boozes? Because for some reason, Old Peculiar sounds like a booze. And exactly, Andre, PBR in Pabst Blue Ribbon in the Waku is really tasty. Especially when you got their sweet and sour sauce. That is exactly it. And let's see here. Baney Bo, you drink a beer called Desperados. Interesting. Now, is that an English beer? Is that a Mexican beer? I don't know if I've ever heard of that. And okay, Shock, those are beersies. I feel like I've heard of Speckled Hen. and I thought that was a beer. But Old Peculiar, for some reason, I thought was like a gin or a whiskey. And Andre, that sounds really weird, but then again, maybe not. You remember having a beer called Sweet China? It was a beer with pineapple juice. That sounds weird, but it also doesn't sound weird because in Germany, it's actually in a lot of places, it's really popular to mix beer with some kind of juice, like a lemonade or an orange juice, and that's called a shandy. When you mix a beer with some kind of juice, it's a shandy. Although I do believe if you mix beer with a tomato juice, that's called something different. And so I've never heard of beer with pineapple juice, but gosh, why not? I mean, they do it with lemonade or an orange juice. And oh, Baby Bo, the beer actually has tequila in it as well. Here's the thing, my friend. You can have all of that beers. I don't want any beers with tequilas in it, because tequila I try every once in a while, and my body is just like, no can do. Hey there, Lady Misty, good to see you. Right now we're talking about what kind of beer we like, and whether or not tequila should be in beer. I'm of the vote that it should not. And they have lambic beers that come in flavors. Yeah, those are sours, and I'm not a fan of sours. Let's see here. Shock, all of these are called black. Yeah, kinda. And your favorite craft brew is one from Corpus Christi, Texas, called the Lazy Beach. That's the best yellow beer you've had. That I would try a beer called Lazy Beach for a lot of reasons. Actually, I kind of like the double entendre. You know what I'm saying? And Desperado actually sells out. Oh, I don't doubt that. Lots of people love tequila. Lots of people love tequila and beer. I am not one of those people. And do I like wheat beer? It's really light. No, wheat beer is not. It's very heavy in the gut. I don't like I don't like a lot of wheat beers. No, they're heavy. Those are the kind of beers you have to chew. I don't like beers you have to chew. Land Shark is the beer of choice in Florida. I've never heard of that. And Rick, you really liked Kona Brewing Lava Man, a red ale that you can only get in Hawaii. Interesting. Now, really, you can, because I feel like I've seen Kona Brewing stuff in Washington. I wonder if you can get it in Washington, too. I mean, maybe you might not be able to get it in Wisconsin, but I wonder if we can get it here. And if we can get it here, I wonder if I can figure out a way to get it to you. We'll have to look into that. Yes. Okay. You do get other Kona beer here, but not the Lava Man. Got it. Okay. And Andre also saying, yeah, okay, in California, but yeah, Darlene, you can get some of them, but not all of them. And right, exactly, Kenny. I know from experience that the one thing tequila does not belong in is me. Yeah, I haven't luckily had that experience in a long time, but because of one of those experiences 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, it's definitely a sticky wicket in regards to whether or not it's gonna even get down in the first place. But I can say that there was one time in my life when tequila did manage to get down and stay down. And this was back when I was young and rich and had money to burn. My friend Trisha and I were at a bar one night, and granted, some of this bar tab was pool table rental. And yes, pool table rental was $20 an hour. And we were there for several hours. So that's some of the bill. And then, of course, another part of the bill was the 2 plates of appetizers at $7 each. But after that, it was all booze, and we had a $750 bill that day. between the two of us, $750. So, yeah, we had a good time that day. I mean, granted, we had friends come in and out, and we bought them drinks, etc. But yeah, we kept that bar bill on the fridge for quite some time, because that was a night to remember, even if we couldn't. I know, right, Verity? 700. Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't. I couldn't believe that I mean, I could, I guess. It was a really good time and great memories. Sort of memories, flashes of hazy memories. And, yeah, tequila gives me a nasty hangover too, or at least it did once, which then caused my aversion for the rest of my life. And Andre coming in, Lava Man Red, is an amber ale with a subtle chocolate malt flavor that's balanced by our delicate blend of Pacific Northwest hops. Delicious, full-bodied, and roasty. It will always go down smooth. And let's see here. Oh, really, Mama Sean? Steve's aunt worked for Helms Brewing. She gave him some right time. And it came in a 7... Wait, hold on. Hold up. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about when you say right time. Okay, so Steve's aunt worked for Hams Brewing. She gave him some right time. And it came in 7-Up, Cherry Cola, and some other flavor. But it was beer, and it was Coca-Cola flavor, or Cherry Cola flavor, or 7-Up flavor, or whatever. I've never heard of right time. And if I'm interpreting what your words are... Oh my god, that's so gross. Oh, weird. I just remember, that's very interesting, actually, Mama Sean, that Hams of all breweries would do that. Because as a child in the 70s, Hams the Beer Refreshing, all of their commercials were that bear, and it was a cartoon. And I loved Hams because of the cartoon commercials. Hams was my favorite commercial. Hams was a brand that really made an impression on me as a very young child. And it was Hams, it sounds like, that must have really tried to break into the kid drinking market if they're trying to make beers that don't taste like beer, right? Because I know that that's a constant battle with things like, with like the hard seltzers, the wine coolers, the, Four Locos, the, all of the sugary alcoholic pop that is available today. There's always the Liquor Control Board's concern that, like, you're marketing to younger kids. You're going after an underage market with that. And they kind of all are. I mean, let's get real. It's only underage kids that drink that stuff. Or very young 20-somethings that drink that stuff. And yeah, I think that Hams might have been on that train long time ago. And right, and Dr. Steve is sitting here saying yes to all that I am saying. Right, yeah, I didn't really realize that this has been a battle that has been going on for so long. And yeah, Baby Bo, it's 18 drinking age over where you're at, but in the United States, in some states it used to be 18, but now everywhere it's 21. And so especially back in the day with Hams, with the weird flavored beer that clearly they tried to make for a while, that was during some states were still 18. And so they were totally going for the underage market there. But, whatever. I mean, when you're 18 and you can buy... When 18-year-olds go to high school still and they can buy beer, we know that high school kids are drinking beer. And let's see here. Andre, you got that place in Seattle that serves alcohol floats and stuff? Oh, there's a lot of places that serve that, I'm sure. I don't know the specific spot you're talking about, but that just sounds gross. I don't want dairy. I don't want ice cream with my booze. And Trail Dust, good to see you. Exactly. From the land of sky blue waters. Hams the beer refreshing. Hams the beer refreshing. And, Yeah. And yeah, that's exactly it. The feds made it that way because they would hold, they withheld the highway funds until they made it 21. Yeah, I think Hawaii was the last state to finally get to switch over, and it was the highway funds that, you know, that did it. Idaho, I think, was one of the last states as well. And in Canada, it's 19, you know, so, let's see here. Kenny, you got arrested in the late 80s by the Texas Liquor Control Board for being a minor in possession of and consuming alcohol. Yep, there you go. And Trail Dust, you live in the land of sky blue waters. Awesome, there you go. And let's see here, what was Mama Sean asking about? Not so much in the United. Oh, military can drink at 18. I don't think they can. I remember. First off, if you're military and you're 18, you can't drink anywhere. You can only drink on base. But I actually don't know if you can drink on base anymore. I'm trying to remember when I was I grew up in a Navy town, and I remember this was an issue, and I'm trying to remember, and I feel like, no, back even when I lived in Bremerton, that law had changed. It did, you totally are right. It used to be when you were in the military, on the base you could. Not off the base, but on the base you could. But yeah, I think you're right, Cola T, by the way. Hey, good to see you. I think you have to still be 21, and Gina, no. Oh, by the way, aloha Trail Dust. And Gina, no, Utah is not a dry state. But they have some really weird booze laws. Now, I don't know if this is still the case, but I do know that when my dad went to Utah back in like the 60s or 70s, there was no bars. In order to go get a drink somewhere, you had to go to a private club. It was very easy to join a private club, but at the private club, you had to then buy a bottle of beer, a bottle of booze. They wouldn't serve you drink by drink. You had to buy the bottle. And then you would buy drink by drink your mixer. But you couldn't take the bottle out of the club. So my dad was like, in the name of trying to keep the state from being overrun by alcohol, they're forcing you to get super drunk, because why are you going to leave half of your bottle? That bottle belongs to you. So you want to finish the bottle before you leave the club. And I don't know if everybody thought that way, but my dad did. Okay, let me just put it that way. And so he just thought it was really stupid, because it's like, I didn't necessarily want to drink a bottle of booze, but if you're forcing me to buy the bottle of booze and then I can't take the bottle of booze, I'm going to be drinking the entire bottle of booze before I leave. Yeah. So, and let's see here, Baney Bo, what were you saying up there? And 18 to buy yourself. Over here, people age 7 plus are allowed to drink as long as you're in your own home, and 14 for wine and with your meal in restaurants. Yeah, we don't have anything like that, Baney Bo. Not even close. And Andre, the alcohol laws of Utah regulate the selling and purchasing of alcohol in the U.S. state of Utah, and they are some of the most restrictive in the United States. Yeah, that's what my dad said. A person must be 21 years or older. Well, that's no big deal. The Utah Department of Alcoholic Beverages, UDABS, has regulated the sale of alcoholic beverages since 1935, 2 years after the end of Prohibition. Utah is one of 17 control states, meaning the state has monopoly over the wholesaling and or retailing. Washington State used to be like that too. Not that long ago. I would say less than 10 years ago. If you were going to buy alcohol in the state of Washington, you would need to go to a state-run liquor store. But now they've since allowed it in grocery stores, etc., etc. And so, what used to be the Washington State Liquor Control Board, WSLCB, which ran the liquor stores, that department is now the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board, and they don't run any stores. All of the stores are privately owned. And let's see here. Treadless, you don't drink much, never had. Good for you. Good for you. And let's see here. Andre, current Utah law set a limit of 4.0 alcohol by weight. So this is too strong for Utah. In beer, it's sold at grocery and convenience stores and at establishments operating under a beer-only type license, such as taverns, beer bars, and some restaurants. Beer over 4% by weight is available in state liquor stores and package agencies and at clubs and restaurants licensed to sell liquor. In commercial facilities, the time at which alcohol may be served is limited and alcohol may not be sold. Yeah, that's pretty, it's pretty standard. Yeah, Picola T, she definitely only drinks when we're at the optometrist. Hey, Andre, thank you so much for the biddies, and I do believe Bainy Bo had a little biddy there, too. Thank you so much, Bainy Bo, for the biddy. And let's see here. It looks like Ivan Sugar is coming in, saying, how you guys? We're doing pretty good, Ivan, and you are just in time, as Puzzycat pointed out, for our Lono listening break. Our Lono listening break today, get Kylo ready, Puzzycat, is Hele Pohaku, and there's a reason why I chose that song about the traveling rocks of Molokai. But we won't get into the reason until after we watch the song. Wait, we'll listen to the song too. All right, here we go.
Hele Pohaku, the traveling rocks of Molokai. Okay, sustain. Okay, Mo Mike. Key of A if you got him.
Lono Molokai ia Hele Pohaku mai waila vava uluvehe hana mene huni ke ia pola haoli mene huni e mai a me ai one by one Hele Pohaku to the other side Hele Pohaku one by one Hele Pohaku to the other side Papa Pohaku to the other side Kaulana o Molokai ia Hele Pohaku mai waila vava uluvehe hana mene huni ke ia pola haoli mene huni e mai a me ai one by one Hele Pohaku to the other side Hele Pohaku one by one Hele Pohaku to the other side Papa Pohaku to the other side Luna o mauna I ke mapule ma ke kai ku hone Ili o pai ka hale ko inoa Hele aku ka ko e pohaku o wailau One by one Hele pohaku to the other side Hele pohaku one by one Hele pohaku to the other side Papa pohaku to the other side Iluna o mauna I ke mapule ma ke kai ku home Ili o pai ka hale ko inoa Hele aku ka ko e pohaku o wailau One by one Hele pohaku to the other side Hele pohaku one by one Hele pohaku to the other side Papa pohaku to the other side Ia mai ana kapuana Molokai ka o mea Hele Pohaku one puana Molokai I ka ome I hele pohaku. One by one, hele pohaku to the other side. Hele pohaku, one by one. Hele pohaku to the other side. Pohaku to the other side. Traveling Rocks of Molokai. Hele Pohaku.
Oh. That shouldn't have surprised you. Oh, hold on. God dang it. Reverbs. Alright, now no reverbs. Okay, so, yes, Pergola T, Mr. P is definitely a keeper, scrubbing out the litter boxes to refill with fresh litter while you sit outside and chat on this stream. That is beautiful. And speaking of litter boxes, and speaking of keepers, and speaking of pets, and all sorts of things, like dogs and like cats. Oop, I was just about to grab my cat, but he ran away. I want to remind everybody that on this Wednesday, I was hoping to have a pet parade. And so, if you have any pictures of pets, past, present, or future, if you can get a picture from the future, send it my way. But any pet pictures that you want to send, you can send me a story about them and their name, or just their name. You don't have to give any details. Whatever you want to tell me about them. I want to have a little pet parade. And Puzzycat, yes, I do have an email address. My email address is madstatter@gmail.com. madstatter@gmail.com. Exactly, C Honda. I was like, wait, future doesn't make sense, but if you can do it, then get me a picture from the future. And yes, I've already got pictures from Andre and from Darlene. And then of course I've got pictures from my aminals too. So we're gonna have at least some dogs, one cat, and then all of the cats in the world that have come through my house. So we're going to have a pet parade. Now, when I say pets, I mean pets. If you've got fishies, if you've got snakies, even if you have spiders, I don't want to, but I will. Dogs, of course, horses, any kind of pet, you can definitely send a picture. In fact, I guess if you want to send a video, you could, but sometimes videos are hard to send, so pictures might be better. You can, if you've got a parrot for a pet, or a rat for a pet, or a mouse for a pet, by all means, you can whatever you want to, whatever you have as a pet, if you feel like sharing a picture of them, I would love to add it to the pet parade on Wednesday. And so get the picture or series of pictures, however many pictures you need to send. If you have 18 pets, you can send me 18 pictures. It's fine. I understand. I have a couple pets, and then I have a half a pet that's not really mine, but I'm going to show you a picture of him. And so yeah, let's not forget, on Wednesday, we're going to hopefully have a pet parade. So if I could get, so far I've only got 4 of the pets other than mine. So let's make it a mob, a pet mob, as it were. That's what we're gonna do. There's a horror movie once called Night of 1,000 Cats. Let's make it Night of 1,001 Cats. And it won't be horror. this time. And, I mean, I guess if you consider the worms your pets, you can, but I'm gonna have to ask for the worm's name if you're gonna go with worms, okay? And so, and so once again, madstatter@gmail.com, and yeah, it's not just, limited to cats and dogs, and, Fuzzy Cat, you wonder if the pet matches the person? There you go. And, oh no, Andre, you'll be going to work again this week, but you will catch it on rebroadcast. Good. All right, so, now that we've covered the pet topic, we're going to go back and talk a little bit about, thank you, C. Honda, beautiful. That is exactly what the email address is. So yeah, shoot me an email with the pictures and we'll be stoked. Okay, we've got the pet talk covered. Now we're going to go back and we're going to talk about Lono for just a second. That song, Hele Pohaku, means the traveling rocks. Hele means to move, Pohaku, that's stone. So the song is about the traveling rocks of Molokai. And what that song is about there's a heiau on Molokai, and a heiau is a sacred space, sort of a altar-like former church of the old ways. It's a sacred... words are not coming to me, but it's a sacred space. It's a sacred area, the heiau. And the heiau in this particular shrine, thank you, Gina. See, that would be a good word. A shrine. It's like a shrine, right? All right, so, and Baby Bo, you can send them to me, via Twitch Whisper if you want, or via the email, but I won't let anybody know what your name is. Like, let me know what it is. Like, if someone sends me a picture and doesn't give me any info, I'm still going to show the picture. I won't tell anybody who the pet belongs to or what the pet's name is. So just let me know what I'm allowed to say online and what I'm not allowed to say, and I won't. And so don't worry about that. But you can also on Twitch if you want. You can if you can upload a picture to Twitch Whisper or Discord, whatever. You certainly can. But basically, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna be revealing any personal info, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's a temple, at least the one you saw, a big rock platform, but it was a heiau to Ku, the war god. Right. So these were former temples, former shrines, etc., but they still exist, right? They're not necessarily in use, and you're definitely not allowed to touch them, but this particular heiau was made of a certain kind of stone. But that particular kind of stone wasn't found on the part of the island where that heiau existed. And they realized that stone had to come from all the way on the other side of the island. And so, the lyrics of that song talk about the menahunes, one by one, carrying the rocks from one side of the island to the other, the traveling rocks of Molokai, to build that heiau far from where those rocks came from. The heiau was built over. And over on the other side of the island. So they had to move over the mountain. Hele Pohaku, those banana-eating menahunes, they snuck through the night and built that heiau. One by one, the rocks moved over the island. And so that's what that song is about. We'll talk more about that later. But however, Kenny from the Cove, people who say money can't buy happiness have never paid the fee to spring a puppy or a kitten from a shelter. Very true, Kenny. Very, very true. Very true. All right, so going back to the Hele Pohaku song, guess what they found out, or what they released in the last few weeks? The study was done a while ago. They finally released it to the public. You might have heard of an English heiau, as it were. They don't call them heiaus, of course, but it is a prehistoric temple-esque thing in England. I'm sure you've heard of it. It looks a little like this. Yeah, that might be Stonehenge right there and there. Oh, my Stonehenge. And that little red circle, nope, not Carhenge. This is the actual real deal Stonehenge. And yeah, I know that's not how you say Stonehenge, but that's what I'm just being silly. So, Stonehenge, the red circle right there, they have found out that red circle, by the way, is what they consider the altar stone. I guess like the most important stone of the actual figure of Stonehenge. And they always, oh, this is only the model? Okay, well, whatever. This is a Stonehenge map. Wait, yeah, here we go. But this is a Stonehenge map. And it is the outline of all of the different stones and where they came from. And no, Kenny, I don't know how to take photos from Facebook Messenger. And so, yeah, actually, Piccola T, you just wait, okay? Yes, Puzzycat, I was thinking that you might want to send me some pictures of your fish, actually, which was one of the reasons why I said, or if I didn't say it, I should have. Fish are totally welcome, too, to take pictures of and part of the pet parade. But anyway, so the altar stone, stone 80, the altar stone, is the little green stone kind of in the center here of that circle. And every single one of these stones in the different colors are a different kind of stone, and they come from different places. They always thought, up until very, very, very recently, that the stones only came from the Marlborough area of England and parts of Wales that I can't pronounce the words, so we're just gonna say Wales. But they realized, no, one stone in that entire thing, the altar stone, did not come from either of those places. It came from northeast Scotland. Now, Piccola T, can you imagine what's going to happen next? Now, this is what the United Kingdom looks like, okay? And so, let's see here. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute, Lady Misty. So this blue line, now granted, this probably isn't the route that they took, but in regards to a road, by today's standards, that red dot at the bottom of that big, thick blue line, that's Stonehenge. But the up, follow the blue line all the way to the top, that's where the altar stone for Stonehenge came from. And so, let's see if I can do something here. Well, that's about as big as I can get it, I guess. So all the way from up here to all the way down there, that one stone had the Hele. That was the Hele Pohaku. The, yeah, exactly. That's about as far as you can walk in Scotland. Past that, only water. You better believe it. And so yes, this is the route that altar stone had to take. And now they don't know why. They don't know why. But this news came out. Yeah, the stone maybe did ship from FedEx back in prehistoric times. Hard to say. But when I heard this news breaking earlier this last week, all I could think of, as soon as I read it, I was like, that Lono song immediately popped into my mind. And yes, Piccola T, or maybe they did float it, because concrete does float, which is so counterintuitive. But even if they floated it, it would still be like, they'd probably float it. I don't even know which, how would you float it? Would you float it down the west side of the of the island or float it down the east side and then river it in. I just don't even know how you would do that. I just don't even know. But, and I guess nobody else does either, actually. It's part of the mystery. But what I can tell you is, they're, gonna come up with a theory, and it'll probably be wrong, because they had a theory before, and the theory was all the rocks were from two places, and now they realize, no, that's not true. Because science sometimes needs to catch up with itself, and we have a little bit of we have a news clip in regards to that, which we'll get to in just a minute. But Lady Misty, even though everyone has said, has given you the answer, to clarify, just so you hear it from the horse's mouth, I don't have a horse for a pet, but if I did, I'd show you a picture. This Wednesday, I'm hoping to have a pet parade. So anytime before 3 p.m. West Coast time on Wednesday, if you all can get me a picture of a pet that you want to show off, or a picture of all the pets that you want to show off. You have 18 pets, you can send me 18 pictures. It's cool. And if you want me to know the pet's name or anything about the pet, let me know that as well. Send it to my Gmail address, which is madstatter@gmail.com. And I think that's it. Oh, yes, also, like, in regards to Baby Bo, he's like, I don't want people to know my real name, blah, blah, blah. If you email me, I won't, unless you're like, hey, my name's Jessica Cheryl Simpson, and I want everybody to know that this is my dog, Coochie-Coo. Well, okay then, Jessica, whatever, I'll let everybody know that this is Jessica's dog. But like I won't reveal any info that you don't want it to be revealed. I'm not gonna, like, if Baby Bo's real name is Fred, I'm not gonna let anybody know that his real name is Fred. And by the way, Baby Bo, if your real name's Fred, I am really sorry. That was literally just a name I pulled out of thin air. So yeah, and right, but yes, Lady Misty, I did earlier also say birds absolutely are part of the pet packages. I mean, we really, like I said to Benny Bo, if you think a worm is your pet, that's cool. I just sort of want to know what its name is, because I don't know if I believe you unless it's got a name. And let's see here. Science has ways of identifying and accounting for bias. It's a self-correcting method. Peer review. Well, there is something to be said about that, but there also comes a point where when the peers don't know what they need to know, then if you find it out later, it's new. Anyway, we'll talk about that when I show my next little clip. But Barbie's full name it's Barbara something, and when we watched the movie, I think we learned what it was, but I don't remember. And tortoises are definitely welcome. And Verity, Spinal Tap, Stonehenge, it's only a model. Took me this long to remember the film's name. Phew! Barbara Millicent Roberts. There you go. That's exactly right. That Stonehenge scene in Spinal Tap, Verity, is so flippin' funny. But the funny thing about the movie, if you guys have never seen Spinal Tap, I obviously need to show it on the cinema, actually, now that I think about it. But Spinal Tap is a fake documentary about a fake rock band on tour, and all the horrible conundrums that they face while on tour. And it's hysterical to us. But apparently to professional musicians who have lived on the road and seen what life on the road is really like, it is not a funny movie at all. It is the way, it's like Idiocracy is now to us. It's like almost like a documentary. It hits way too close to home to be funny for them anymore. Yeah, I love Stonehenge because it's such a farce, but it is also, it pokes on so much reality. It's just ridiculous. It's just hysterical. And oh wow, Pussycat, they made a Stevie Nicks Barbie doll, and it's going for $200 on eBay. Trippy. And yes, there is that, Andre. When the peers are all white men, you get a similar experience of bias. True. But also, though, sometimes the science just needs to catch up with itself. Sometimes the peers and the actual on-the-ground people know stuff that science hasn't quite yet verified, and within their verifications, their classifications haven't caught up. And this would be an example. It's something that we've talked about several times, more than several times on this stream, and it is the difference between Bigg's transient orcas, and resident orcas. And so here's a news clip that talks about how we're now just rediscovering and realizing that we thought we knew a whole bunch about orcas, and now we're recognizing that we actually don't know nothing, and what we did know and the parameters in which we defined that species' entire existence is not accurate at all. So, let's watch a little bit about some orcas, shall we?
To the untrained eye, southern residents and Bigg's orcas, also known as transients, may look alike. But whale researchers have known their differences for decades. Their jaws, calls, behavior, fins, and sizes are all different. Notably, Biggs eat mammals and have plenty of food, while southern residents stick to less plentiful salmon, leading to their endangered status. A new study combines that knowledge with genetic data to argue each should officially be named its own species.
The scientific community that's finally caught up, and I think that's mainly due to improvement in genetic sequencing techniques.
Dr. David Bain with the Orca Conservancy is hopeful this could lead to more distinctions, listing southern residents as endangered. But most of all, he hopes it stresses the need for more action to remove dams, protect habitats, reduce air and water pollution, regulate fishing, and prepare for disease outbreaks.
What we really need to do is take a shared burden approach where we ask everybody to do a little bit toward their recovery, rather than trying to identify a couple scapegoats and make their lives miserable.
The Taxonomy Committee of the Society of Marine Mammalogy could make a decision this summer. If approved, both Bigg's and southern residents would get their own new species names. And the study argues that Bigg's and southern residents stopped reproducing thousands of years ago and are really on opposite sides of the family tree, Joyce.
Which is so interesting, because if they're so different, why were they lumped together in the first place?
Right, exactly. And so, just think about you or me who maybe aren't a totally trained eye. They do have similar markings, similar coloring, but, scientists have noted that even in the 70s, they knew that the animals didn't mix with each other, even when they were in the same waters at the same time. So they have just separated themselves, no contact there.
And separate species, as they should be.
So we'll see how that happens this summer. They're going to make that final decision in terms of taxonomy. So we'll see what happens.
And you'll let us know, of course.
Thanks, Joyce.
Thanks.
So, I don't know if you caught that, but the lady was explaining to the newscaster, since the 1970s, researchers have known these two things are not the same. But now, almost 50 years later, the science community is finally starting to say, maybe there's something to that observation. Through genetic sequencing, they're recognizing abso-flippin'-lutely, and 50 years later, now they're realizing, oh my goodness, these are two separate species. And my best guess is, once they start doing sequences from the northern residents, the Atlantic, the southern hemisphere, we might come to find out that instead of one orca species that's worldwide, we've got 5 or 6 orca species, none of whom are, genetically, or all of whom are genetically distinct. I don't know that yet, but that's where I think it's going. And so it's interesting how, science definitely does have a way to correct itself, but sometimes it takes a really long time for science to correct itself. Like I said, 50 years, the researchers have known that these are not the same animal at all. but the scientific taxonomy community insisted they were, and now they're like voting on whether or not they're going to change it. It's weird. It's very strange. But I thought it was great that that even though we're not the scientific hoity-toities, through our examination of the topic, we have come to realize here at the Statterbox crew that yes, indeedy, the residents are different than the Biggs. And Pussycat, you're totally right. Some of them eat salmon, and some orcas do not eat salmon. A lot of orcas, actually, especially in the northern Atlantic, they eat like herring and stuff like that. A lot of orcas all across the world eat marine mammals. The Bigg Transients eat the marine mammals. And the residents, unfortunately, they are, the southern residents, much to their detrimentalness, I don't think that's a word, but we'll just say it is, they are eating only, they're so picky, they're such picky eaters, they only eat salmon, and unfortunately, that unfortunately is going to be, well, that might be to their demise. And, let's see here, and so, yeah, and let's see here. So, all right, Lady Misty, good to see you. I hope you've got some pictures of some parakeets to send my way. Remember, madstatter@gmail.com. And, yeah, exactly, Picola T. The picky eaters do not thrive. The omnivores survive. That's unfortunately, I think that's going to, I really hate this, but I feel like the die has already been cast in regard to the future of the southern residents, and I just don't think the future bodes well for them. Verity, yeah. Oh, now I need to sneeze. I guess without putting them in captivity, we can't really find that out. And we know that we don't want to do captivity, right? I would like to think that, you know, since their numbers are literally dying of starvation, that they would maybe volunteer to eat some other stuff, but it seems as though they are really just, you know, salmon specific, as it were. And you guys, speaking, because I got a little misty-eyed there talking about the southern residents. Speaking of salmon and picky eaters, I thought about grabbing this clip, but I didn't. There is this content creator on YouTube who videotapes her son, and honestly, I don't like it when content creators do this, but gosh darn it, this little southern boy, I think his name's John, we're gonna call him John for the sake of the argument. He's this blonde-haired southern farm boy who's just darling, and he's just funny to listen to. I know, I shouldn't laugh at people with a southern accent, but his southern accent is so thick, he's just funny to listen to. And he's a real picky eater. And so his mom was videotaping him eating dinner and asking him, like, and she's just like, well, I know that tonight we're having beach chicken. Beach chicken. Make note of that term. She says to her son, I know tonight that we're having beach chicken, but tomorrow Dad and I were thinking about making some salmon. Do you think you'd want some salmon? And he's just like, no way. I don't want no fish. You can have the salmon, but I'm not going to eat the salmon. And she's just like, well, she's like, I know, you know, she's like, I know you like I know that you like chicken, you know, and you really, I know that you like the beach chicken. I think that you might like the salmon. No, Mommy, you can have the salmon. I'm not going to eat no salmon. And she's like, okay, well, you finish your beach chicken then. Y'all want to know what the beach chicken is? Salmon. Salmon. She's tricked him into eating salmon by calling it beach chicken. Beach chicken. Yeah, so little boy, he don't eat salmon. He just, I'm okay with the beach chicken, Mama, but I don't like no salmon. I've never tried it, but I don't like it. I don't like the salmon. Yeah. he says as he's eating mouthful upon mouthful of salmon. Beach chicken. Beach chicken. And Darlene, interesting, you saw something stating that the orcas have been trying new hunting techniques. I'm curious which type of orca, be it the southern residents or other. And then I'm also kind of curious as to what those hunting techniques are. And Andre, a southern kid that doesn't like fish, I guess no fried catfish in his area. Yeah, probably not. And actually, I'd be willing to bet that a lot of kids don't like fish. I mean, they really, like, across the board, southern or not, a lot of kids just claim to not like fish. I don't know if it's the smell, I don't know, but they say that it's not. And Verity, seagull as a beach chicken, that was a good guess. I don't know of anybody who eats seagulls, but yeah, they were eating beach chicken and it's salmon. And yeah, exposure. Expose the young to a broad palette. One generation might teach the next. Yeah, we'll say. I mean, they don't seem to be teaching that lesson, I guess is what I'm saying. And let's see here. We call a big flounder a doormat size, right? Yeah, fair enough. And folks who go out deep sea fishing for halibut. When the halibut's really big, they call them barn door size. We got a barn door coming up. I'm assuming they're not as big as a barn door, but halibut can get pretty big. And yeah, totally, Darlene. It's so funny how you can trick kids into eating stuff by just calling it something different. I've said this story before, and I'm going to tell it to you again, y'all. My sister, when she was young, hated rice. She didn't, but she said she hated rice. Didn't like rice. Won't eat rice. So whenever we had rice-a-roni Spanish rice for dinner, because we would sometimes, we just called it Spanish spaghetti. And she loved Spanish spaghetti, even though it was made with rice. But she don't like rice. Spanish spaghetti, well, now that's different fine. It's spaghetti. And yes, they are the size of barn doors. And so let's see here. Piccola T, decades ago, while living in Japan, Mr. P asked for cooked tuna fish sushi roll. His broken Japanese phrases caused confusion until one store clerk said, sea chicken. He was referring to a brand name. Oh yeah, chicken of the sea, exactly. Which I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Jessica Simpson, she had a reality TV show once when she was married to some dude. I'm going to say the dude's name was Nick, but I'm lying. I don't really know what his name was. It might be Nick. And she was eating tuna fish, chicken of the sea, out of the can. And she truly was not, she didn't know. She's like, so what am I eating? Is this chicken from the sea? Or is this tuna fish? Blah, blah, blah. She didn't. I don't think Jessica Simpson's necessarily that smart, because she thought it was chicken from the sea, but she didn't know how the chicken could breathe under the water. Yeah. Let's see here. A fish fry to go with the PBR. Well, now, Pussycat, I say cheers to that. That is for certain. All right, so let's see here. What else do we have here? Got the Stonehenge. Would a penguin be a chicken of the sea? Well, honestly, I dare say that a penguin would probably be the most logical chicken of the sea, given that penguins don't fly very well, and chickens don't really fly that well. I mean, chickens do fly a little bit. I think they fly better than penguins. But I dare say that a chicken of the sea, a penguin would be the most logical chicken of the sea because their lack of flying. That's what I think. So, yeah. All right, so we seem to have had a bit of a kerfuffle here, which means we are now going to chill on the flying fork out with our final Lono listening break. And once again, y'all, stand up, hold hands, sway to the music. It's time for Hawaii Aloha. Or is it Aloha Hawaii? I can never flip and remember. So many buttons. So many buttons. Okay, so there we go. Andre coming in with the answer. Yes, indeedy. Oh, wait, hold on. Mama Sean's saying they're neosves, not foul. But I thought Andre's thing said they're, belong to a clade of neo-aves, living birds except for paleognaths and fowl that comprise them. I don't think I understand. Yeah, exactly. Verity, I am right there with you. Like, suddenly, I thought we had an answer, and then now I realize, no, we don't, and I have way more questions than I have answers. And so, oh my god, we have got a whole new topic to talk about. Are penguins, what are penguins even? I guess is what we're leaving with. Sometimes we come to this stream for answers. Today we're just coming for questions, and the question is, what are penguins even? But what we do know is 2-minute warning, so it's time to wrap things up. There we go. We're gonna wrap it all up, and hopefully we're going to see each other on Wednesday. If you remember or you are able, shoot me an email with your pet or all of your pets, past, future, and present. I still want a pet from the future, you guys. Yeah, madsatter@gmail.com. Shoot me your little pets, and we will have them on our pet parade on Wednesday, 6 p.m. No, Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time. 5 p.m. West Coast time. 6 p.m. is when we watch our things and stuff. Thursday, we're going to be watching Reservation Dogs, and it'll be, I think, the last 3 episodes of season 1, Thursday, 6 p.m. But before we do that, we're going to have Chatter Show on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Picola T, pet peeves will not be part of the pet parade, but pet peeves are always open to be aired here. So you can definitely let me know a pet peeve, and probably we'll talk about it, because that's what we do. We talk about things and stuff. And Verity, it's a flightless bird definition, I think. Oh, okay. And Andre, you won't be home in time for Reservation Dogs. Bummer, dude. Well, remember, we're starting at 6, and we will probably be doing 3 episodes, so it'll be till 7:30. Maybe you can catch a couple of them. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold up one sec. I'm on a live stream. Hold on. Okay. All right, there we go. So, all right, Kylo says wolf, and it's time for me to say Hele Pohaku. No, why would I say that? I don't know, just because I decided to. We gotta move them stones. And Rick, you're gonna be cabin bound this weekend. Fine and dandy. I can't remember off the top of my head what movie we're gonna be watching this weekend, so I'm not gonna tell y'all. But it might be on my Discord channel, and if it's not, then then I guess we're gonna have to decide what we're gonna play this weekend, and that hasn't been decided yet. So leave no term you stoned. I don't know what that means, Picola T, but I'll quote you on it. All right, you guys, have a good one. It's 1 minute past the bottom of the hour. We'll see each other on Wednesday with all of our pets. Take care, y'all.